Thanks so much for joining me on the Everything and Anything in a Bit Gay podcast. Today I have a brand new guest. Her name is Cheri Darling, and she is located in Southern California. And we have a lot to talk about. So welcome to the show.
Thank you, Zach. I'm very excited to be here, and I'm thankful to Juan for making this possible. He's the best PR ever.
He's an awesome guy. So I want to kind of give everybody a little bit of background on who you are. So you're a military spouse, you're a photographer, an entrepreneur, and
Yes.
you have a wellness Airbnb that we're going to talk about because I'm very interested in that.
Oh, excellent.
And so you're a military spouse. And so tell me how that kind of shapes some of these other things that you're doing.
Well, I appreciate that. We understand that military is a different lifestyle.
Yeah.
It requires commitment not only from the service member, but the service members' families.
Yes.
So, it's okay we want to recognize all the parts, because when our husbands are deployed or the spouses are deployed, we get to play the mother and the father role.
Yeah.
We get to be the meanie and the nicey.
Yeah.
I know those aren't words, but they sound fun.
Yeah. I get you. Yeah.
And so it becomes challenging. And then it gets to be a point where they're gone for so long, you forget, there's a connection that you're missing if they're gone for like 12 months or something. So I really wanted to have a space where people that, when, people are doing things like, kids are doing kid things and husbands are doing husband things, and they're getting on your nerves. I'm just trying to say it nice.
Yeah.
And there was a movie. I hope you've seen it because I'll give you all your cool points. But there was a movie called Friday, and it had Ice Cube and Chris Tucker.
Yeah, I've seen it, of course. Yes.
Okay,
sure.
You have your cool points in chat. But there was like a catch line in there or something. Ice Cube said to this girl, he said, "Bye, Felicia."
I say that all the time. I say it all the time.
It's so fun. But I talked to my daughter and I said, well, what's a nice way of saying bye, Felicia? Because there was times where I would say I'm going to the grocery store and I've gone for 2 hours just to get a slice of bread. But it was more like I just need a break.
Yeah.
And I felt like a wellness spa where you could go and it's in a home environment. So like you have, the comfy emerald green velvet sofa, and then you have all this beautiful decor, and you could just chill.
Yeah.
And so I just wanted it to be an elevated space. And Tata Darling, it means Cheri means darling in French. So Tata Darling just seemed like just a really great way to capture what I wanted to share. And so it's very upscale. It's very appropriate for people that like to pamper themselves.
And what was the moment that kind of struck you when you knew, like, I want to create this, I want to do this?
Well, it actually started, I'm a huge Bette Davis fan, and Bette Davis was an iconic actress back in whenever Awesome was. So there was my favorite movie is Whatever Happened to Baby Jane. And there's a scene where she's pushing out this beautiful silver tea set, and it was just so awesome. And I managed to acquire one similar at one of these fabulous estate sales. And I said, I know, I'm going to have the ultimate tea and spa experience. You would come to Tata Darling and you'd have this really elegant tea with the cucumber sandwiches and just be very, watch old movies or something. And then, I offer the red light therapy, and we'll talk about that.
Yeah, definitely want to talk about that.
Yeah, so it was actually called, and it's still on my Instagram, but it was the ultimate tea and spa experience. But then I thought, you have this wonderful experience. You're watching your old movies. Do you really want to go home now? So I just opened the space up so it could be an Airbnb, and it sleeps 4, and it's 10 minutes from the closest winery. And I'm partnered with several wineries in the area. So when you stay at Tata Darling, you'll get some 2-for-1 wine tastings.
Awesome. And across the street is a beautiful mountain as well, right?
Yes. You've done your homework. Absolutely.
I've done my homework.
It's the most breathtaking. It's so peaceful. And the proximity to Lake Skinner, it's all energy, right?
Yeah.
So the lake is, I don't know, 15 minutes or 10 minutes that way.
Yeah.
And so you have that experience of just going to a lake. And I recently had the pleasure of hosting some fabulous guests here. Speak It Vicky, she is a voiceover actress, and she came and had the royal treatment along with her really good friend Carla, and took them to Lake Skinner, did a photo shoot, was fabulous. And then took them to the wineries, did a photo shoot at the wineries. They did the leg compression therapy and red light therapy. And I said, give me 3 words that describe your experience here at Tata Darling. And I know the first one was love, luxurious, opulence, peaceful, restful. And I remember Carla specifically saying, I have never slept through my alarm before.
Oh, wow.
That's big. Yeah.
That's big. Yeah.
Yes.
So just when you were talking about, you took them you're also a photographer too. So talk to me about that and how you got inspired to do that.
Well, that's really my real mission. My goal is to help heal people.
Okay.
And I've had a platform where I've used my voice. And so I'm really trying to open up speaking engagements and things like that to help people manifest their dreams. And so my voice really, I said, well, God, do I have to choose between photography and wellness? And I'm like, wait a minute, there's before and after pictures.
Yeah.
So I really wanted to hold on to photography because that's my heart. I love to capture energy and moments. And if you check out my website, Cheri D Photography, that's Cheri with a C, you'll see that I have photographed quite a few celebrities. So in fact, the last celebrity that I photographed, her name is Dee Freeman, and she's a Tyler Perry actress on Sisters.
Okay.
And she was just so fabulous. And it was just so exciting to photograph such an iconic, beautiful woman. And also, she was a Marine. Hoorah.
Oh, yeah. Cool. That's awesome.
Yes. And so the photography just started. I was in 7th grade, like a couple of years ago.
Yes.
And I had a teacher, his name was Mr. Klinkenberg. And he was just so amazing. And when he talked about photography, he would like make these huge expressions with his face. Like he'll say something like, and then the shutter does this, and you can develop it in the dark room and there's chemicals and it turns to magic. He would go, and he would do like this, such an animated face. And I just loved him for that. And I hope he can watch this somewhere. He might be 140 right now.
Yeah.
But his energy is here. So, and then so that I just was inspired. And then when I lived in Hawaii, it was such arduous duty in Hawaii.
I'm sure.
It was so hard looking at those beautiful rainbows and beautiful people and the awesome food. It was really tough to leave.
Yeah, I'm sure it was.
I always joke. I said, Hawaii has my heart. I said, I'm changing my name to Leilani and I'm moving back real soon.
Yeah.
But in that space, it was just such a healing space. And I had the opportunity to be a photographer's assistant for weddings. And I just couldn't believe that I was in such a beautiful space. Like one of the photo shoots was at, I think it was called like the Restaurant in the Treetops. And basically the restaurant sat on top of the trees. Like, it was just, I can't describe it, I'll mess it up. But anyway, I said, oh my gosh, I'm getting paid to be around people that are happy, dancing and love. And I get to feel all that and I get paid. So it's not a hard thing to do. And so photography has always been in that space where I've loved. And I just had the opportunity to really just be on fire with, I photographed Sir Lawrence Hilton Jacobs.
Oh, wow.
He is, he was the actor that played Joe Jackson in the Jackson 5. And he was also Cochise. And then his amazing publicist, Desiree Benson, was the one that gave me the opportunity to shoot Dee Freeman. And currently I'm I'm the production assistant for a play for another Tyler Perry actress. Her name is Aretha Thomas, and she plays on assisted living. In fact, they have their opening night is tonight at the infamous historic Hudson Theater. So you got to check them out.
Awesome.
If you get a ticket for, one of the shows, DM me, and you can get Tata Darling at half price only for this length of the show. So the show price from October 10th through the 26th, follow Tata Darling Airbnb, show me your receipt, and then you'll get Tata Darling for half off. Because I'm really committed to the storyline. I'm 100% invested in terms of it's about forgiveness and the importance of forgiveness. And it ties so beautifully into my book. I'm also an authoress.
Oh, so tell me about that.
My book is called Me First, Darling. And it's as a sacred guide to healing and boundaries. And what I realized is if someone is a vampire and it's not the person like you see on the television and movies, vampire is someone you're dancing and you're having a good time and you're doing the Cabbage Patch.
Yeah.
And then someone calls you and they're bringing their rain into your sunshine. And so you have to be careful of your energy. And once I realized, wait a minute, you mean to tell me that I can set appropriate boundaries for my own safety and sanity and oxygen? So sometimes it's challenging when you kind of like, this is one of my favorite illustrations. Not only is it a book, it also has coloring pages.
Oh, nice.
Yes. Very nice. So, it's like when you're on the airplane and they say, hey, in the case of turbulence, when it starts getting rough in life, guys, put your oxygen mask on first. And so I'm just very excited that there were some things in this edition of the book. So you buy this book, this would be a good time to buy it because if it's still available, I might do something special for the people that actually have the first edition of this book, because this book inspired me as one of those things where you say, hey, I'm not ready to do it, Lord, but you got to do something.
Yeah.
And I said, well, what if I just go mess it up? Let me just go mess it up because, I have this thing right here. What does it say? Wait a minute. Don't go anywhere, guys. I'm still here. It says mistakes. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it says mistakes are proof you're trying.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm just so glad that there were a couple errors in here because it allowed me to go into this space. This book has bloomed into, I'm just going to speak it out for you. It is a bestseller. I'm going to tell you that I use the teachers from Napoleon Hill, Wayne Dwyer, Iyanla Vanzant, Oprah Winfrey, like anyone that, Dr. Joe Dispenza. So it is a wellness guide. So chapter 11 is about being illuminated. And when I say illuminated, you're lightening up. You're using all these wonderful herbs. And I talk about healing modalities that people probably haven't heard of, like coffee enema, carbon C60, She Legit. We talk about the importance of fabric, like, polyester versus linen and wool, how it raises your frequency. So the book went from, hey, this is my first time being an authoress.
Yeah.
And it went to something that's going to be so global that I'm actually holding it off the shelf. I want to release it on 11/11.
Okay.
That will be divine and in order. And so 11/11 for $11.11, which would be ridiculous because this book is not a book that you would expect. It has coloring pages. It has breath work. It has, and when I say breath work, I just introduced you. The first chapter is called Exhale, Darling. And you breathe in. And then I have a soundtrack in there. I mean, it's just like coloring pages, soundtrack. I'm tying it. And then guess what? I don't want to give it away, but there's Easter eggs all throughout, symbolism all throughout. And like, there is a code in there. And the code is so cleverly hidden. And I'm just going to, for your wonderful viewers, I'm going to tell you the code is, if someone says, hey, excuse me, Zach, what is Me First, Darling about? The code is, it is about me.
Okay.
And it's about you in terms of the reader. It's about you manifesting. And I'm telling you all these beautiful manifestation stories, like how I got to meet Jennifer Lewis at the beautiful Joan Baker's event. It was the Voiceover Academy Awards, how it was by divine assignment. Well, you read the book, you'll see what I mean by divine assignment. It might mean that I didn't have a press pass to get in there.
Yeah.
But I don't know. But it's just being able to manifest something and visualize how I went to Debbie Allen's Hot Chocolate Nutcracker and I had the best seat in the house because it was the only seat available and it was middle center. Like, I don't know what it's called, but it was the best seat in the house.
Yeah.
And I watch high vibrational things and I stay in a high vibration. And So you rarely catch me watching the news unless it's like a hurricane or something.
Yeah.
But I don't inundate my spirit and energy with that. But I do watch the travel channel and I watch the cooking channel. And then we have those healing vibration, like 432 frequency and stuff like that. But I remember looking at one of the travel channels and I saw the Taj Mahal. And I was like, oh my gosh, I would love to go to India and see the Taj Mahal. And
Did you go yet?
Say again?
Have you gone yet?
Well, we're manifesting that right now.
Okay, got it. Okay.
And then the pyramids, I feel that so closely in my spirit because it's in Cairo, Egypt, and this play actually they're talking about going to Cairo, Egypt.
Okay.
So it was just like, wait a minute, and then so I'm at the play. I'm gonna get there. I'm at the play, and the first scene. The hot chocolate nutcracker for Debbie Allen, they come in and they're dancing in front of the Taj Mahal.
Oh, wow.
And then, oh my gosh, wait a minute, I'm going to get you now. And then they dance, and now they're dancing in front of the, dancing in front of the pyramids. Now, wait a minute. I said, okay, Lord, I understand what's going on here. Okay, so Lord, I'm going to say this. If these ballerinas turn into butterflies, I'm just going to start hooping and hollering. I'm just going to get up and just start clapping. They turned into butterflies. Now, I didn't get up and start screaming, but I can tell you that's what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And it ties beautifully into the story where I was invited to speak at this homeless teen shelter to inspire these youth. And at the end of it, I managed to get them to say with their mouths, I am a millionaire. Because if you can't say it, you can't do it.
Yeah.
And so... But if you have to drive through 3 blocks of people suffering and mental things going on, and I'm coming in there thinking I'm going to inspire and this is going to be great. And I get there and I have to catch my breath and see, read the room at this point.
Yeah.
And so I realize these children need necessities. What do teenage girls want to do? They want to put on lip gloss, and they want to do their nails, and they want to wear colorful clothes. Well, none of that was going on there. And so then I said, well, how can, Lord, you put this on my heart. How do I fix this? So I'm open to anyone that can help me, but I'm going to do this. I want some kind of nonprofit where we can get colorful t-shirts because I'm all about vibration. And in one of the chapters, I talk about the Morimoto experiment. Have you heard about that?
No.
What the bleep do we know? What the bleep do we know? The secret, rewire your brain is all in this book, right?
Okay.
And so the Morimoto water experiment meant that Morimoto would talk beautifully to the water and he'd say, oh, you're beautiful, you're blessed, look at this pretty, oh, look at the water, you're so cute, right?
Yeah.
And then this water over here, they would talk mean words to it or write mean words on there. And what they found, and this is beautiful, I hope someone catches this, what they found is the water that was talked to nicely and blessed by preachers and all that looked like a snowflake under the microscope. And the water that was talked meanly to looked distorted and didn't look like a snowflake. Now, the one that was ignored looked the worst of all.
Wow.
So when I'm telling, youth, when you're wearing a t-shirt and it says, killer from Manila.
Yeah.
We don't really want to put that energy out there, right? Yeah. We want to put, frequency and joy like, I'm winning today. Mm-hmm. Or to, manifesting greatness now, or you do something where it can be on their chest and it's resonating with every fiber. I'm healed, I'm whole, I'm wonderful, I'm fabulous. And then put that, I'm wearing pink, to represent breast cancer awareness.
Yeah.
And, I can tell you that one of the motivations for me talking about health and wellness is I had my own wellness journey. And so then I realized, wait a minute, when we were blessed with a beautiful home, I said, I was sharing the space and saying, look how God has blessed us. And one of my friends, the wonderful Nicole, she said, Cheri, do you heal people here? And I think I'm getting back to your story. And I said, I guess I could. I have a far infrared sauna, and I had leg compression, and I had red light therapy, and I had all these healing modalities, but I just rather buy healing modalities than purses.
Yeah.
You understand? I mean, I like purses too, but not to that extent. So I have a lot of wonderful healing modalities. One of my one of the ones I really like to share and use for myself is called the AMI 850.
Okay.
And it's oops. Oh no, this I'm sorry, this is the AMI 850. Let me just tell you, it's AMI, this is not the AMI 850. This is the alpha stem, but the AMI 850 just jumped in my voice pattern here because I know I'm manifesting it. It is an acoustic meridian instrument. It heals, and I'm not a doctor, nor do I claim to be. I'm just telling you, go look at the website AMI 850, and if you believe in healing therapy and things like that. But it's acoustic meridian instrument where it heals the body through sound, and so it's not for me to explain it to you. Just Google sound therapy.
Google. Yep.
I just want to have to put that out there. Now, this one, when we talk about people being in the military, this is called an alpha stem. Now,
Okay.
right now we are laughing and having a good time. Our brainwaves are in beta state. But when you meditate and you do it well and you're calm and you're getting this, confusion out of your head and you can sit for a moment, it takes a while to do that because the first thing you think about is what else could I be doing besides sitting here connecting with. So anyway, you learn and I get up in the morning and I'm not there for 20 minutes. I sit up in the bed and just keep my eyes closed and say, thank you, God, for an awesome day. And then I've been adding an extra one, and you guys can use this one too. I say, God, show me how good it can get. And then you get like real serendipitous, like amazing stuff. So I've been using that. And then just breathe for a few minutes. That cell phone's going to be there. Your toothbrush is going to be there. Give yourself a moment to, let your body acclimate to being vertical. And so then anyway, so the alpha stem is goes on your ears. I have these fabulous earrings on, but I wouldn't have them on. And so then you have, you put them on your ears. Here's the other one. And then there is a solution here called the alpha stem conducting solution. And what it does, you're sitting there calmly. You have the aromatherapy. You've just walked by a whole bunch of rosemary and lavender. And as you're sitting there looking at the mountain, you might have these on and think about how God has blessed you. You're calm. You have the music going. If you want the aromatherapy with the sound bowl bath, you can have that available. But we really make it just the most magical, amazing experience. And then you could actually have the leg compression sleeves. A leg compression is a Normatec leg compression sleeve. I don't know if you guys knew who LeBron James is, but he uses it, and it keeps him in the league for 100 years. And then Steph Curry, a lot of athletes are using the Normatec, and what it does is it moves the fluid around, right? Yeah. We know the lymphatic system doesn't have a pump like the heart. So if you don't move it, you're going to lose it. So you got to, get a trampoline, a little inside trampoline, and move that lymphatic fluid around. And that's one of the healing therapies we talk about in the newest edition of Me First Darling coming out at 11/11. I'm so inspired by it because, even the fact that there is an Easter egg symbolism, my son actually gave that to me. He said, well, Mom, if you're talking about butterfly and transformation, then where's the chrysalis? Yeah. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And it started just blooming into something so amazing. And I said, what's the significance of Easter egg? Well, it's about rebirth, transformation, everything a butterfly is. Yeah. And I'm thinking, oh my goodness. And so then I introduced concepts like the darling dollars and, that's energy. It's pure energy. It's not currency. It's like, do you want to use your energy today to flip off that person on the freeway? Or would you like to use it to bless another person and tell them they look fabulous? And then you multiply it.
What got you into kind of the wellness space? Like, what kind of influenced you to want to do this and to learn about all this?
Well, my mother was very influential in how we ate, and it was fortunate for us that we didn't have the ability to eat a lot of fast food, financially. Yeah. And so we had to eat healthy food and home cooked food. And it kind of ties into this one. There's a documentary called Forks Over Knives, and where they talk about the rich people in this certain community. Forgive me if it's an Eastern country, and the rich people would eat meat. And then the people that weren't as rich would eat a lot of grains and vegetable and fruit. And they found that the wealthy ones that had all the great insurance, And so my point was, that, you know, we just have a responsibility to feed ourselves, feed our bodies well. I talk about, what are you consuming, darling? So, you know, I talk about what you wear on your body, because our bodies are made of water. So don't wear naughty stuff on your body.
Yeah.
And then what are you listening to? Are you listening to music that makes you go, yes, okay, winner, I got the victory? Or are you listening to something that's low vibrational and sad? You know, sometimes you want to go through those emotions, but we don't want to stay there. You know what I mean? I've listened to Mary J. Blige on quite a, you know, at least one occasion, you know, but we want to, you know, go into the space, you know, Janet Jackson going on an escapade or something, you know. So, so staying in high vibration. So what we're consuming, looking at on television, what we have on our bodies. And so, close family member had just like rash or whatever on the whole torso. And then she showed me like, hey, this is what they're giving. It was like a steroid. And I'm like, wait a minute. This stallion here is probably going to want to have children later. Let's make sure we're not messing with reproductive things of that such. So we started telling them how to make their own laundry soap. And so, because just looking at it, you're an athlete and sweat and the chemicals in the thing it's agitating the skin. And we just start looking at, well, what if we changed our toothpaste to charcoal based? Or what if we just made our own toothpaste? What if we just used vinegar and lemon and baking soda to clean household areas? And it would just seem like the house stayed, and you know, the kids had less incidence of asthma. And then I just started to evolve. But my mother, she would make us take castor oil, spoonful of cod liver oil.
Cod liver, okay.
Cod liver oil. And usually, you know, it would be a big spoon, the biggest spoon in the house. And we were never sick.
Really?
So, never, ever sick. And so, you know, I'm a little bit easier on my kids. I'll use like, you know, a smoothie and put like flaxseed and clove or something in there to get rid of parasites. But you start learning more and more and, you know, being proactive. If we can do parasite cleanse and, you know, and one of the biggest influences I have to say was the Gaia channel, GAIA. It's on Prime. And, you know, I was going through, you know, I was healing through my crisis, and I learned about the Gerson therapy. That's when there's coffee enemas, using coffee enema, and you're using fresh squeezed organic apple or carrot juice, and followed by beef liver capsule. You look at the protocol, but basically, Max Gerson was a German doctor who used to have terrible migraines. So much so that he decided he was just going to check out. He decided he had in medical school, but you know, these migraines suck. So while he's there, he has this divine light where he remembers that when the Germans were surrounded in the war, and they were the soldiers were wounded, they couldn't get healing, you know, medicine to them. And a nurse saw cold coffee on the stove and administered the cold coffee rectally to soldiers to alleviate pain from gunshot wounds. So he thought to himself, well, to help with a gunshot wound, then maybe it's worth a shot. So then he was doing coffee enemas, and then he started adjusting his diet. So he did the coffee enemas, but he also just started eating apples for 2 weeks. I don't want to ruin the story for everybody, but basically he developed a nutrition plan in conjunction with coffee enemas to help people heal from very, very, very serious conditions. And I have employed everyone in my family that knows me. You could be at the grocery store. I'm going to mention coffee enemas because it's responsible for 500 functions of the body. The liver is. So if you can get those toxins, the MSG, the fast food processed, the colorful foods and candies, if you can't stay away from them, this is a good way to kind of keep your skin,
cleanse them out.
Yeah.
Cool. So if somebody wants to come and visit the Airbnb, how would they do it? Is it on Airbnb, or do they go to your website?
Well, for right now, it's on Airbnb, but we will be having our website they can get on there too. So the Airbnb is called, get this, Tata Darling.
Tata Darling, yeah.
So Tata Darling Airbnb. You can find me on Instagram. You can obviously just Google Tata Darling Airbnb. And then anyone also that purchases my book, I'm going to be offering a discount as well to Tata Darling. So again, this will be at the launch of the the launch is 11/11. I would love for it to be 11/11. However, I feel like it's going to come sooner, so they have to stay tuned. But so I can be reached there at Tata Darling for the Airbnb. The Me First Darling is also on Instagram, and the Cheri D Photography. That's CHERID Photography.
Okay.
And they can reach me there and send me a DM or something fabulous, and I always respond. And I'm just excited because I know that it's going to be so amazing for people that understand. Like, once I realized, I have a train metaphor, and it's so awesome. It's like I went to this all white event, and it was fabulous, hosted by Modern Day Wife. Okay. And I had a learning experience where, you find out who your players are on your team. I don't need to go into details, but I said, well, Lord, why are people, doing a reflective thing? Why are people so negative, or whatever I'm saying to myself? And then I got this train metaphor. So just imagine a train going up a mountain. So you're behind the train, you're pushing the train up a mountain, but there's people inside the train. They're called bystanders, but there's these vampires / haters on the other side of the train trying to push the train down on you. Now, your train is metaphoric for your visions, your life, your goals. Yeah. And so that once I realized, wait a minute, you got to find out who your players are. Are they on the side helping you push your dreams up the mountain? Or are they bystanders just waiting to see how you're going to do it? Or are they sabotagers, vampires that are calling you? So once I was able to put that concept together on paper, it was so relaxing for me. Like, oh, this person is not on the same side just because we did a group hug.
Yeah.
So then just finding out, and I tell the reader, put these people, leave some of them at the train station. Yeah. And then I talk about the Hernan Cortez story where, you remember, he wanted to conquer Mexico, Aztec Mexico. And he gave the order to burn the ships. And he had gotten them all pumped up. And this isn't Think and Grow Rich. And he said, hey, let's think about what our lives are going to be like. Well, we can go in here and conquer this place. Your kids are going to go to the college of their dreams. They're going to get Ferraris. You're going to have a pretty wife and, a handsome husband, whatever. And then he got people that could visualize. He created what's called a mastermind alliance. However, while they're floating and they're on the cruise ship here, they started whispering like, hey, you know what? These guys are undefeated. And I don't know, it kind of sounds like I'm a little nervous. Can we get off on the next exit? And he realized that he had to pump them up and remind them, hey, look at here.
Yeah.
You guys are here because you want your better life for your family. You wanted them to grow and be this and that and wealth for generations and generational wealth. And then he says, he comes up with the concept, and little people know, first of all, it's not his concept. He wasn't the first one to say burn the boats, but he is the first one to be successful at it. So that's why we give him credit. And then here's another Easter egg. He didn't even burn the boats. He muddled them. He disabled them, but he did not burn the boats. But, for theatrics, that's what the story is called, burn the boats. And then I go into your oxygen. And the reason you're burning the boats and setting these boundaries is because you're doing it to breathe. I'm not asking you to eat ice cream in front of a 4-year-old. And I make jokes throughout the entire, wave your hands in the air. I just make it fun. You got coloring pages. You have breath work. I'm aligning all of and this is like the eggs I'm giving you. All of the chapters are aligned with the chakra butterfly color, like root chakra. And then there's and it tells you how to speak things into existence. I give great stories of how, one of my favorite stories, my son, he's a baseball phenom, and one child said, hey, he's so fast, what's it like to live with him? And I was so tickled. What I should have did is said, have you ever seen the movie The Incredibles? He just zips. I could have gave the little kid something to, but I just said, oh yeah, he's great, But anyway, it was a championship, or as a 2-day tournament. So they had, my track coach used to say, either you win or you learn. And so they learned a lot that day, So everyone's in the car quiet and everything. And here I go. I'm just, Miss High Vibrational. What do I say? And I said, hey guys, we already saw what happened there. We saw what happened. We saw, what went on there. So let's go ahead and start cheering for what's going to happen tomorrow. And then I could just hear them going, oh my goodness, please. And I was like, yep, it's happening, guys. We're going to change the frequency. We're changing the dial. So what I want to do is cheer for tomorrow's game. So I said, throw your hands in the air, wave them like you just don't care.
Yeah.
And we're going to say, woohoo. And then I said, come on, guys, woohoo.
Did they
Yay.
do
And
it?
then I get the woo hoo. But
Yeah.
I give them
Yeah.
credit because they at least played along. And what
Yeah.
I mean by that is the next day, my son hit his very first home run.
Oh, amazing.
Woo!
Yeah, that's amazing.
So I mean, they'll tell you the story, and it was, it's exactly what you think it would be. To just this. Sometimes we just have to decide to be happy. We have to
Yeah.
decide that there's a story where I tell that there was a lady at a pastor at one of the churches here, World Harvest, and they wanted to pay the church off, and they shared the story that hey, they didn't know how they were going to pay it off. There was some benefit to paying it off early. So she said a prayer, and what she did, she went upstairs and started painting her nails. And when you're trusting God for something, you know what I
Uh-huh.
mean? People that paint their nails, you got to be calm. You got to
Yeah.
relax. You got to wait till it dries, and you
Yeah.
can't pick at it. So, and for me, when things were, lifing and doing what they're doing, and showing me the victories on the other side of this tiny storm,
Yeah.
I would go to the wineries that are like 7 miles away, 10 miles away, and I didn't have to drink wine, for the people, oh, every day. No,
Yeah.
you can go there. They have beautiful salads, but the views, I'm a photographer, so I know that God likes order. It's just seeing those vineyards is really
Yeah.
spectacular.
Yeah.
And I'm partnered with Fazeli Cellars, and they have the most amazing Greek food. Renzoni's is one of my favorites. We haven't partnered with them as of yet, but they have eggplant shooters that are out of this world. And Altissima Winery, we are partnered with them, and they have the best ceviche ever.
Yeah.
And the views are so spectacular. So it's like, would you rather sit here and wring your hands, or would you rather go up here with $20 and and enjoy the experience? Go there and
Yeah.
get an appetizer and just breathe and pretend that it's all worked out in your favor. That's
Yeah.
it. And whatever your space is, maybe it's not the winery, maybe it's the park. We do have Lake Skinner. You could do the Lake Skinner thing. Lake Skinner is breathtaking. You can fish. You can rent
Yeah.
boats there. You can camp. And they have this really it's called the Great Wine and Balloon Festival. Hot air balloons. I mean, this is a very spiritual place here.
Yeah.
And then
It sounds
across the
beautiful.
street, there's a spiritual walking trail. I named it that. But there's 2 miles, on a track kind of gravel, dirt
Yeah.
area, and it's secluded and it's beautiful. And then if you really want to be fancy, if you really want to say, oh my gosh, I'm going to listen to Cheri, you could go across the same street and then walk up this, I won't even call it a mountain because that would be too hard. I would call it, a darling hill. If you can walk
Yeah.
5 minutes up a hill, you can get to the top of this mountain, and you can see like the whole world. I'm
Wow.
exaggerating, but it feels like that when you
Yeah.
can see the whole world.
Yeah.
And so I'm excited by the space. I know you're going to come. Okay. I
Yes,
can
I will
feel
come.
it. You definitely coming. And when you
Yes.
come, I'm going to get you a proper Tata Darling t-shirt,
Okay.
because
Sounds good.
it's important that you have that. And even in the t-shirt, if the harp represents the union between heaven and earth, I have a heart sculpture there. I have the forest green representing wellness, and the furniture, the chakra colors are represented throughout the space. There's marble floors. It is so spectacular. And then, oh, by the way, you have your own washer and dryer, a cooking area, and then you have your own outdoor space. And it has roses around. And that's if you can get past all the rosemary and the lavender. Yeah. So it's really great. And
It sounds beautiful.
excited for you to come and experience, because you have such a great vibe. I feel your energy.
Well, thank you so much. And I love hearing your story, just kind of how you started off, just it's just like you brought in so much positivity and stuff, and it's just kind of amazing. So I will make sure, if you are interested in going and checking out the Airbnb, which I think you should. It's called Tata Darling. I will put a link in the description of the podcast or the video that you're watching, and I'll put a link also to all of your Instagram channels. And send Cheri a DM to say hello and tell her you listen to the show, and maybe she will take your picture or something if you go. So.
Absolutely. And that was one of the things you just kind of led into. I have a guest coming here, and they're going to a wedding today. And that's a lot of people are going to weddings because we're so close to all the wineries.
Yeah.
And she's coming, and I said, hey, I'm a celebrity photographer. I'd love to be able to offer you a mini photo shoot. That's 15 minutes. And
Wow.
she was so excited because they're going to be looking fab,
Yeah.
and it's been a blessing to be able to share. Before they leave, they have
Yeah.
their photos, and it's really nice.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being on, and let me know. Come back anytime and let me know, like, after your
Absolutely.
book comes out, how it goes, and I wish you
Yes.
success on it.
Oh, awesome! Thank you so much. You're so fabulous, and I'm so thankful to have been on your show.
Thank you so much, Cheri. Thanks everybody for listening. Be sure to leave a comment and go check out Cheri's also her Instagram and send her a DM and say hello. Thanks everybody for listening.
Bye bye. Ta ta, darlings.